Yo, I'm Jack, and this episode is going to be all about how I started a podcast with barely any money, barely any resources, all the shit I learned along the way, how I improvised. You know, it's still not perfect. I'm still just in just a lounge room that we had. You see, oh, boom. Boom, look at that. Oh yeah. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. I'll show you the setup now, and then we'll talk about like what it used to be and how I got started. So right now, I got these lights here. So I just got these, so maybe like $100 or something. Yeah, I initially got them before when I had my photography company, and yeah, they were just like some little cheap ones. And then for the colored lighting in the back, what I've got here, I've got the classic Kmart sunset lights. They're only like $25. They're nothing. I got all those there. And then behind there, my dad just had this had one of these things. So everything's smart. So look at this. You ready? Let's go stand over here. You see all the colored lights? Do you see this? Now look, I'm gonna go on my phone. Ready? And I set up a scene. I love technology. Ready? Oh yeah! Oh, what's that? Oh, you want me to turn it back on? Sure. Boom! Ambiance! Yes, so anyway, these lights, they're not very bright because, as I said, they're cheaper. So then what I've done is my dad actually had this idea. Put this light, just one of the lights he found in the shed. So if you're ever looking to light up your podcast, look in the shed, look for old stuff. He also had this, which I need to set up a softbox for, so I haven't used, but it is extremely bright. As you can see, it just lights up the whole room straight away. But yeah, this is just sort of sitting here now. But I thought maybe I could bounce the light off the roof and down. And we got the chandelier. So then I was thinking about like changing all these with like smart globes and stuff. But it spread out the light too much. It was too dispersed. So we couldn't do that. So that's lighting. That's how I've lit this now. And then I got my little fake plant here. I want to get 2 more plants in the back, like there. Now let's talk about the audio setup. So here's where it started, because audio is the most important part with this. So I've got 2 Shure SM7Bs. I don't know if you know anything about mics. These are super expensive mics. So you're like, oh yeah, you start with no money, blah, blah. No, Facebook Marketplace this shit. I got this $250 and fucking, I think like $300 or something. But brand new, these are $800 each, right? So again, a bit of money. Found these. These are the old headphones we had. Got it for Christmas one year. And then Dad had the exact same pair. So I've got 2 now. Hell yeah. And then I got this, the Rode, is it PSA1 boom arm? These were a bit expensive. They're like $150 or something like that. I got 2 of them. They're sick. You can put them like anywhere and they'll just stay. Oh, I'm sitting over there. No, I'm sitting over there. Oh, I need to adjust it. Boom. They just stay anywhere you want. They float in the world. And then always try and speak to, let's move this plant out of the way. Always try and speak to people, because you never know what people might know. So for the audio interface, what these go into, so this cable runs down here. Oh, that's not online. These run down here, boom, 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 and then they go into here. So, little fun fact, with these mics, they're actually really quiet. So if you're putting them straight into the audio interface, most of the time, unless you have a really high gain on there, then it's probably going to be too quiet unless you're doing something like singing, which is what I've found. So I got 2 of these things. They're called Triton FET heads, right? Triton FET heads. Basically what these do is these give you a bunch of clean gain, so you can run the cable, so run it straight from here. It goes straight from the mic, boom, 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 go straight into here, and then straight into, instead of just plugging this straight into here, then you plug this in first. So I like these because they're smaller, right? So they're smaller than the cloud wave or whatever the hell it's called. So you put that in there, and then it's exactly like the same, except you just put this in first. So then that increases the gain, and then all you do with this is then this cable just comes out. Oh, it's stuck on something. This cable comes out. It's just USB on the end, right? And then you just plug this straight into your laptop. And then for audio interface, I'm just using Reaper, which it's free, but it comes up with this notification saying like, oh, you need to like trial or whatever, but you just press next and then it's free. But anyway, so and then this audio interface, my brother actually used to do a lot of sound design and stuff. So he just had this lying around in his shed. So like I said, try and speak to people, see what they have. Yeah, so that's sound. That's how I've got the whole sound set up. Oh, and then I've also got this thing. I got this is like $15 or something. So you just do this to connect the headphones, because they come out of here. And then yes, that way I can do it to 2 instead of just 1. Okay, now let's talk about, hi, have you missed my face? Hi. Okay, so now let's talk about cameras. What I have to do for cameras. So initially, let's go for a little walk, right? Okay, so initially I did have some cameras because I used to have a photography company, but it was just like a low-key one. So I had these cameras here, right? Boom. So this one, no, actually I didn't have these cameras. I just had this one, which was, it's good for photography and everything like that, but it's just a Nikon D3400, but it only shoots in 1080p. So I went to set it up, and then my brother was moving house. Then he found that he had these cameras. So then he had these good cameras, and then I set those up, but they're good for photos, but they only shoot in 1080p, not 4K. So the quality was coming out shit. And then a little while ago, I was going to get into doing virtual tours. So I fucking bought this 360 camera, and then that was the first setup. Yo, the fuck, why are you putting that outside?
I'll shake it out, stop shit on it.
Literal shit.
No, it's like crumbs.
Let's go into the light. Let's look pretty. Oh yeah! So the Insta360 X3 was the first ever fucking video camera I bought because I was going to do 360 tours and stuff like that. So this is actually what I recorded my first podcast with, and it was so annoying. Oh, that's another annoying thing about those other cameras is you sit it down and it stops recording every like half an hour. But then it was even worse because I had shit SD cards, so it was stopping to record like every 5 minutes or something, or maybe I think it was 12 minutes. So because the SD card couldn't write at the speed. So that's another thing you have to consider if you're starting a podcast, is make sure you have SD cards that have the right write speed. Yeah, and make sure that you have a camera that shoots for longer than half an hour, because all those other cameras, they only shot for half an hour, so you have to keep getting up and doing that. And then fucking, this one was cool though, because if you have the right SD card, then what you can do is you can set it down, and then it does stop every half an hour, but then it starts again like instantly. But you still will need to stop speaking because it like has like maybe like a 10-second buffer or whatever in between changing clips. But yeah, if you're just getting started, I mean, you can just get started with, if you have one of these lying around, you can start your podcast with this. You just got to be mindful of that. I think it's 29 minutes to be precise. But yeah, anyway, so then that quality wasn't working. So then I was like, shit, what do I do? And then I ended up getting this. I have an iPhone 12 Pro Max, and then I set that up, and that quality was fucking better than what all my other cameras were. So I was like, shit, you know what, why don't I use this? So I just used the 360 one for the first one. I trialed the other DSLRs, it didn't work. So then I started using my iPhone, and for the first like 4 or 5 episodes I've done, I've used the iPhone. So now I've only just upgraded, but yeah, that's, if you just have an iPhone, just set that up on a tripod, have a wide angle, you get high quality shots, you can make clips and everything like that, you can zoom into the faces and everything. You're set. That's all you need, like, to get started. Oh, and mics, like these bad boys if you can find them. Or just, yeah, no, I'd say really invest in the mics. So mics is the most important bit. But anyway, then I did a podcast, and then it was getting annoying to always have to clear my phone because like the files are long. So I had to always like upload it from my phone to my computer, which is a pain in the ass because I don't have a Mac. So then I started really looking into other cameras, and like I said, I don't have infinite money, so I was trying to make it affordable. So then I ended up going on Marketplace, and I found this bad boy. So this is the Panasonic GH4. It's sick. It's actually one of the first cameras that shoots in 4K. Came out in like 2014 or something. It can shoot up to 4 hours. So I was like, shit, all right, well, look at this. And because it came out a while ago, it was like way ahead of its time. Now you can get it on Marketplace for like $300 or something like that. So that was sick. So I got this, and then after that, one of my mates let me borrow this, which is the Sony ZV-1, which is a sick camera. Yeah, if you know anything about video cameras and stuff like that, this one's always comes up. Yeah, I think it goes for maybe like $1,000 or something, Australian dollars. And then the thing I'm recording this on now is my other camera, and I got this. This is the one I've like paid for brand new. This is a Sony ZV-1F. So yeah, the reason I got this one instead of the ZV-1 is A, because it was a bit cheaper, but B, because it had a wider lens, so it wasn't as zoomed in, like it crops in like this on the Sony ZV-1, which is a bit annoying. And also because apparently it's good for streaming, so you can have these down for a long time. So as long as you just set the settings on this so that the temperature is set to high, well then you can set this on the tripod, which I do. I set it on this tripod. So I set it on here, and then the other one on here, and obviously people sit there, and then yeah, and then it can record for as long as there's space in your SD card basically. And then for battery, what I do, because another good thing is, because with all those other cameras, I went and bought fucking dummy batteries. And if you don't know what a dummy battery is, so a dummy battery is basically this. So it's a battery that looks exactly the same as the normal battery for the camera, except you can plug it into the wall, so you have a constant power supply, so you don't need to keep getting up and changing your battery. So it just slides in there just like a normal battery. And another good thing about this camera is that you can record with the door open, because some of them, they have like a little slot here where it can come out, but other ones don't. So be mindful of that as well. But the good thing about these ones is what you can do is you don't need to take out the battery, and you don't need to go to dummy battery, because you can just run a cable from this, so it charges with the battery inside. And then all I do is, so it's portable, and I just connect this to I just have a portable charger. Just connect this here, and then for this camera that I'm holding now, connect that in there, and then put it on here, and then I've got power the whole time. Don't have to worry about it. That's cameras. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is the space. Okay, so the environment. Where am I going to set it up? You know, you might have a place, whatever. I don't have an environment. How the fuck am I going to set up a studio? That was my first thing that I was thinking. I was like, shit, like I don't have a room. Like I don't have the funds to be like, you know, paying for a studio and stuff. Like I'm starting this to start becoming profitable and everything. So what I did is found this room. This is literally just my parents' lounge room. So it was our storage room, which is why, see, so it was literally a full couch. So the couch was here. It was like an L couch, went like here to here, and then it had the little clips. So I've taken this out, and then I've got the other bits of the couch in the garage, and then that's all like sort of crap. We had so much more stuff, but I ended up going in and cleaning out this whole room, and I just sort of decked it out. And initially, as you'll see in the first podcast, is I had it so the couch, focus. So initially how I had it in the first podcast was I had just the couch like normal, like an L, and then I just had it here with like no lights on the back or anything like that. And that was it. So and then what I did gradually is I moved the couch forward a little bit, and then I added this light behind it to add that there, but then it just still wasn't what I wanted, and it was too crowded and everything. So then yeah, we had the idea to really sort of minimize the shit that was in here. And then I ended up bringing it forward, and I had like one of those backdrops, and I ended up putting like a white backdrop behind it. Yeah, setting that up. And then like the couches, I didn't like it because the pillows were ugly. Yeah, so these are the pillows that I used to use. As you can see, they're not very aesthetic. But anyway, so, and then I ended up, because yeah, I didn't like those, so I ended up finding like old Doonas, and I put the Doonas on that, and I thought that would be a cool thing with the white background in the back. No, that didn't work. So then I tried setting it up like on the side here. That also didn't work. So I spent like fucking days trying to get the setup right. Yeah, some key things to note with a setup if you want to make it look good is always separate your subject from the background, and then have like some type of lighting in the background. As you can see here, I've got these lights. They're cool. I can change them however I want. But the most important thing is that I have a depth of field, so I'm not directly on the wall. Yeah, so my mate has an arcade room. Nathan, he has an arcade room in his place. So then we tried doing a podcast in there, but it's too much of a pain in the ass to take everything out, set it up again, and we can only book the spot for like 2 hours. So it's not worth it. So now I really tried to upgrade this, but yeah. Anyway, I think I'll wrap this up here. I hope this was helpful. If you're trying to start a podcast or you're trying to do anything, just be a bit creative and you can figure it out too. Key takeaway is I want you to know is that you don't need all this shit to start, like boom. Well, just look around, look at your resources. What do you have? Really think. If you just have a phone, I would say a phone over an iPhone 12 or something that just shoots good quality, just use that at the start. Just the first thing you really need to get is just mics. As long as you have mics and that, you can start. This is all just like extra shit. Just like over time, I've been progressively upgrading and upgrading and upgrading. I'm still looking at upgrading because that's what you should always do. Look at as a starting point, that's fine, but then yeah, look to just get started. If you just have a phone on a tripod like me, this is how I started. I have my Insta360 camera. If you look at the episode 1 of the Desirable podcast, that's all it was. It was just the Insta360 camera to keep getting up every time and pressing the fucking button and everything. But yeah, just over time start identifying what your issues are and then start trying to find ways to solve them. Anything is possible if you just put your mind to it. And yeah, I'm keen to share these episodes with this new podcast, this new setup with you. Yeah, and just keep going out, keep meeting people. In terms of getting guests and stuff like that, they'll come as long as your podcast has a purpose, has a message. Just keep going, keep staying consistent. All right, I'll leave you to it. I hope this helped. If it did help you, then like, I don't know, share it around or like leave a comment or something like that on what you want to see next. And then I will see you again tomorrow for another video. So yeah, and then keep an eye on the Desirable podcast. I'll also link that in the description. Yeah, all right. See you guys. See you tomorrow.